Welcome, Capricorn, to your July 2025 angel messages and reading. We're going to do an overall reading for the whole month with the Celtic cross. We will get some clarification on it. And of course, we will break it down week by week. So you get a little snapshot of the energy coming up. You can even take a screenshot at the end so you have it with you. There is so much happening in July. So I am honored to be doing this marathon live reading with all of you and connecting with you in this way. Let's jump right into the heart of your spread. So for Capricorns, the heart of your spread for July 2025, you have the Wheel card. Archangel Michael, a time of positive change, a situation suddenly moves forward. Fortune is on your side. Now, one of the things that I think is really important to keep in mind here is you can listen to all 12 signs to get bigger clarity. We have all 12 signs in our chart, and most of the signs have gotten this Wheel card so far. Okay, I started at 8 a.m. Central this morning with Aries. I've been doing back-to-back with really tiny breaks in between. Lots of Wheel cards popping up for all of you guys. So it is worth listening to the other signs, but also just keep in mind this energy is happening for all of us. We are all going through really big changes with Uranus moving into Gemini, with we just had Neptune and Saturn move into Aries, Jupiter move into Cancer, and then we're going to have some retrogrades happening in July that's going to give us a chance to rethink things. It's going to reveal some things. So we are having a time of positive change coming through for all of us. But Capricorns, this is in the heart of your spread. This is right smack in the middle as we move into July. You are experiencing this change. So I love that energy for you guys. Let's check in with the crossing, or what they sometimes refer to as the challenge energy. But, without challenge, you wouldn't appreciate when it's not challenging, right? So it's not a bad thing. It's just something to keep a heads up for here with the challenge energy. The Three of Water, a celebration, a wedding, graduation, or birth announcement, the need to have more fun. Well, Capricorns, look, I'm a Capricorn rising, so I can say this. We tend to put work in front of everything else. And sometimes we feel a little challenged to just enjoy the process, to have fun, to take a little time off. So can you take some time off in July and just find the fun in your everyday routine? Maybe you can take a little trip somewhere. Maybe you can do a new activity you've never done. Like my husband and I, for the first time ever, did a cooking class together last week. It was so much fun. We met some really amazing people in the class. I haven't had that much fun just totally with total strangers in a long time. I don't feel like you guys are strangers. You're family. You're here all the time, and I appreciate it. But the strangers that walk into this class, you don't know who you're going to meet, and we're just having a great time. And that was my challenge for myself, is doing new things this summer. So where can you challenge yourself to do something new, Capricorn? Have you ever tried pickleball? Have you ever tried what's something else totally new that people are into these days? I don't know, those escape rooms. But try something new. Try a cooking class, right? And also Jupiter just moved into Cancer, which is your 7th house of relationships. So maybe you need to do this new thing with someone in your life. Take a different approach to your relationship. So let's keep going with the energy here and see what's coming up in the subconscious. So I like this card. I like to kind of liken it to what you need to know right now, Capricorns, that you don't know. King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, charismatic, focus, communicate with vision, and be a leader. Advice from someone creative. Well, so here's the thing, Capricorns, you do focus a lot. You're very good at focusing, but what you tend to focus on is getting the job done instead of enjoying the process, having fun, right? So it's get there-itis, right? I'm guilty of the thing where you take the trip and I'm just like, let's get there, instead of just enjoying the process. I've been really trying to embrace that. Even if it's just, the travel on the airplane, and it's not that far of a travel, it's like, what things can I do on the plane that are really fun? So it makes me feel like I'm already on vacation, right? So it's enjoying the process. And you might want to think about who you could look up to as somebody who does this, right? Like this King of Fire is like a super fun card. Like we just finished doing the Sages, right? They're the life of the party. We invite them everywhere because they bring the fun. Like maybe you need to be the one bringing the fun. Maybe you need to be the one that says, hey, I can do this differently. And I do think that it could be just like you're looking to see, what do other people do for fun? I'm going to go try that. Like I've been doing everything so seriously, and now I want to have more fun. So this is really, really great coming up in the root of your spread. Basically, your higher self is saying you can get everything done that you need to get done and still have fun. So I think that's a really great message coming in for July for Capricorn. Let's see what's coming up in the recent past to get a little clarification here for this. As always, you can listen to all 12 signs, so if this is resonating for you and you're not a Cap, Sun, Moon, or Rising, it doesn't matter. It's more about what's resonating with you and is there a more fun approach? All right, let's move on to your recent past. We have the 5 of Water. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, crying over spilled milk. Yeah, so something recently you had to deal with that it was just like, oh gosh, I didn't want it to go that way. But you know what? At least this happened, right? You still have these 2 cups. So this is really your spiritual team, your angels, ancestors, past away loved ones, ascended masters. It's really them just saying, hey, good for you for focusing on the 2 cups that are still standing, right? You're good at focusing. And it's like, what can I do with these 2 cups to move ahead? And you've done that and you're being commended. And we want to be reminded about that because you also learned something from the spilling of these 3 cups. So let's move into the present energy so we can figure out how we're going into July even more so. We have the Moon card, Archangel Haniel, important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears holding you back. So that's the present energy that's going to be going on during July. It's going to be important that you're taking a lot of time to listen to your intuition before you act on something. We do, like I said, I don't know if I said this actually for this video because I've said it so many times, but we have Uranus moving into Gemini. We have some retrogrades happening. When you have retrogrades happening several at a time, it's the best time to review, reevaluate, go back to the drawing board and say, is there a more efficient way to do this? Is this really what I want to do? I mean, sometimes we commit to something out of duty, out of a sense of purpose, out of a sense of like obligation, and somebody asks us to do it. But I think that with the events going on behind the scenes card, it could be that maybe your heart isn't really in something and the reasons why you're doing it aren't really authentic. It's okay to admit to yourself, I don't really want to do this. And it could even be that somebody else in your life isn't being completely upfront with you about how they feel with something. And so that's why you're like, I don't know why, but this feels off. So you might have to just trust that you're getting some messages and signs that, you need to change paths a little bit. You need to alter the way you're doing things. And things are lining up for you behind the scenes though, too. I just heard that really loudly. Like you might think, oh gosh, I'm just, working so hard on this. I'm focusing. I'm getting all these things done. And then it just feels like things aren't moving forward. But that's because things are lining up behind the scenes for you, Capricorns. I really, really like that. All right. So just trust your intuition, look for the signs, and let's see what's coming up in the near future. Is it switching over for you guys? Because I just switched it and I don't know if it is. All right. There we go. Have you not been seeing the cards the whole time? I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, Queen Dee. I appreciate that. So July 2025 for the Capricorns coming up in the near future. Now that you can actually see the screen. I had it, I guess I wasn't publishing it over. I'm sorry. But you can see it now. You had, in the heart of your spread, you had the wheel, then you have the challenge 3 of water. This is the unknown, recent, past, and present. So let's go to the near future. For the near future, we have the 2 of Earth card, too much going on at once, the need to make a decision, consider a playful approach. Capricorns, like this is the 3rd time we're being asked to find the fun, whistle while you work. But this is also a decision too. So, you have to decide that you are going to invest in something and you have to decide you're going to have fun. I'm such a planner. When I signed up for the cooking class that my husband and I took last week, and I'm taking another one in August, I think this was like end of April, early May. I was like, I don't know what my schedule is going to be like. I don't know what's going to be going on with the kids' schedules. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to book it. I'm just going to book it. We're going to invest in it. We're going to make it happen. If it doesn't happen, then it's in our highest good, but it happened. The first one did, and it was a blast, and we're going to do another one in August. So I am so excited that you are going to be taking this more playful approach, but it is a decision. It is a decision to take the playful approach. So let's check in with your personal power here, so that way we can have a pocket affirmation for July, and it'll help you take that more playful approach. You have the King of Air here, brilliant, impartial, professional, diplomatic, of course. Speak your mind, and with confidence, seek out professional advice, balance mental and emotional considerations. Yeah, so this is your personal power card here. Is basically just when you speak up, Capricorns, that's your power. You're going to have to be willing to speak up. People will listen if you do it with confidence, if you do it authentically. And it could also be that, this playful approach is almost like you have to tell somebody, I want to have more fun. You have to tell your team at work, or tell your spouse or significant other, like you need to tell somebody, like this is not as much fun as it could be. Right. And I think we can find the playful approach. But let's do a pocket affirmation, Capricorns, for July 2025. I easily speak from my heart. If you want to write that in the comment section below, Capricorns, your July pocket affirmation is, I easily speak from my heart. So write that in the comment section below. I easily speak from my heart. That is your personal power there. And let's move on to your external factors so we can see how this energy is affecting us. In the external factors, Capricorns, we have the 3 of Fire, abundance, things look very good, patience, make long-term plans. And this is with other people, right? So, I said you might have to speak up and say you want to have more fun, but other people around you are willing to do that. They're willing to make the long-term plans. In fact, I think you might need to say to somebody, hey, let's do a project together that's really fun. Like, let's invest in this. Or say to your significant other or your best friend, let's plan a trip, or let's try this new activity together. But speak up, make the plans. And it might take a little patience for you to get to the point where you're doing those things. Like if you want to take a class together, maybe you want to take a woodworking class or something with somebody, but the classes don't start till the fall. Well, that's okay. You can sign up for them. You can start clearing your schedule for it, but make sure you're having fun. And when you do that, you're going to have people around you that want to do it with you, and it's just going to make it even more fun. So I love that for the Capricorns for July. Let's see what your hope or fear card is. And remember, I call this 2 sides of the same coin. 7 of Air. Plans that need revision, more going on that meets the eye, poor timing. All right. So in this position, this is basically saying, don't overthink this, Capricorns. Don't overplan. You might have to be a little spontaneous. So when I say 2 sides of the same coin, it's like you might be afraid it's the wrong time to take action, that you're going to regret taking action, or you're going to be afraid that, you're going to have to change your plans. But then it's also like the hope that like maybe if I change my approach and the way I do things or the way I communicate, this is going to bring a lot more success in, right? And it might be a little bit intimidating to be like, okay, I'm going to change the way I do things. I'm going to have more fun doing it. And that might bring in a lot of really cool things that then I have to adjust to and I have to accommodate, all right? So it's a hope and a fear situation. So let's see what's coming in for your final outcome here. For the Capricorns, their final outcome before we get some clarification and go week by week, we have the 6 of Earth card. Look at that. Gifts of money, time or effort, new career opportunities, receiving a loan, or paying off debt. Yeah, so I love this final outcome card for the Capricorns. We will get some clarity, but essentially it is saying that by adding more fun, you're actually bringing more balance into your life, which you might be thinking, well, I mean, if it's all play and no work, how is that balanced? But that's the thing, Capricorns, you tend to be way more work than play. So when you balance that giving and receiving cycle, work hard, play hard, right? or play hard, work hard, whatever order you decide is best for you, then you have that balance there. And I do see some new opportunities coming in for you. Like I said, right here in the present section, there's things going on lining up for you behind the scenes. I actually feel like there's a collaboration coming in for you, Capricorns, that you're not quite aware of yet. You've got to speak up. You've got to show others you're willing to do these things, that you're having fun. Like speak up and say, I want to do this, so that people know. And then things are going on behind the scenes that are going to bring in these new collaborations, these new opportunities. It's really going to be bringing balance to that giving and receiving cycle, where you're getting to both have fun and help others as well, right? That's the work and play together. It's just beautiful. I'm loving this energy for July for the Capricorns. Now let's do your clarification so we can go to the week by week section, which I'm really enjoying. Because it's just like giving you that extra snapshot, right? So for your first clarification card, Capricorns, you have from my Sedona deck, Airport Mesa, masculine energy, okay? And, you know, Capricorns, you do tend to have a little bit more of a masculine energy, even if you're not, you don't feel that way or identify that way. But that's because you are somebody that people tend to look to for guidance, for leadership, strength, and that just tends to be associated with that. So this could be one of those times, like I said, you have in your personal power this king of air. I think you need to speak up and say what you want. You know what I mean? Be willing to say, I want this. And, you know, so whatever you identify with, it doesn't matter. We need both the feminine and masculine energy, but charge ahead with this thing that you want. And let's get your second clarification card here. This is the one I've been having to pop my reading glasses on for because I love this new deck that I just got, but the writing is so tiny. The Fox and Ivy Adaptability. All right, look at that beautiful card. The Fox and Ivy Adaptability. Interesting. You know, I'll share this quick little story with you. I'm a Capricorn rising, and last year, my fox sightings were off the chart. They were off the chart until I finally spoke up and said what I wanted, and I adapted to the change. So I really feel like that's just that reminder, like when in the past, when you have spoken up for what you wanted, then you've seen things change in a really positive way. And one of the things to keep in mind with this is that fun. Make sure you're having fun at the same time and you're making it more joyful. All right, let's go week by week for the Capricorns now and see what else is going on here. If you haven't already, you can sign up for my free newsletter at devondoer.com and get my gift for you. It's my ebook, Is It a Sign? How to Recognize Signs and Discover Their Meanings. Free download when you sign up for my free newsletter, which will also keep you informed on super fun events coming up like today's Marathon Live and tomorrow, Chris Reck from Minopon Tarot, my good friend and highly intuitive reader, will be back. We're going to be talking about the rest of the year. Super, super fun stuff. And also, if these messages are resonating with you, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button, share this video with anybody you think it would resonate with, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you so much. It really helps my channel grow. All right, we're going to lay out these little handy dandy pieces of paper here so that at the end you can take a screenshot and have it on your phone so you can check in with the energy. All right, so what do we have for the Capricorns coming up in week 1? In week 1, Cappies, 5 of Earth, lack, worry, assistance. All right. So coming up in week 1, this is just letting you know, essentially, Capricorns, that we don't want to get stuck in fear over material resources. And I know, Capricorns, you're an Earth sign. This is an Earth energy here. We tend to keep very close eye on our resources and our environment, and we tend to sometimes let fears hold us back, or we're sitting there like counting our pennies over and over again instead of looking for other places where there's more pennies to be had. And my good friend Chris Reck, who will be here tomorrow from Minopon Tarot, he always talks about with this, this is 5 of Pentacles in Tarot. He always talks about like if this person would look up for spiritual guidance, they would be able to rise out of that fear. And so this is that whole idea of going higher with your thoughts and not allowing these fears to trap you. So is there something you've been wanting to invest in, but you're afraid it's going to leave you, not feeling secure? Well, you want to think that through carefully and ask yourself, like, is that really true? And what are some things I could do to move out of feeling that way? And I do think that for some of you, it's just asking for those loud and clear signs from your spiritual team, finding some ways to do it where you can both, get the support you need and not feel insecure around your material resources. So coming up for week 2 for the Capricorns, we have 8 of Fire, speed, activity, multitasking. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of things happening week 2. I'm getting that you are going to be bringing in more fun and play into your life, but then there's also going to be these new opportunities coming in for work or for new projects. If you're retired, for starting some new phase in your life. So it's going to be like, you're trying to figure out like, okay, how do I manage my personal life and my work life and my creative life and my relationships and all these things? Like, it's going to be a lot, but it's actually really exciting. I feel like week 2, you're just going to feel like things are finally moving forward the way you want them to. And remember, I said in the present energy with the Celtic cross, you did have that things going on behind the scenes. So I think this is really, really positive, actually. Just be ready to multitask, which you're actually good at, Capricorns. And also be ready to like hold space for fun and relaxation and be willing to say like, I'm going to do that. I'll get back to you, but I'm busy at the moment. Don't give up on your time to be creative and have fun for others. Just make sure you are balancing that giving and receiving, right? So it's okay like to say, yes, I'll do that, or I'll help you or whatever. Just also make sure you're planning time for what you need to do and what's fun for you. And also, Chris Reck and I joke about this being kind of the pick a wand card too. You may need to really focus on one thing this week. And that's, where did we get that? We got the focus card in the Celtic cross. They were talking about focus, focus, focus. So, and you won't have a problem doing it. Just pick one thing to focus on. Okay. All right. I like that for week 2. All right, moving on to week 3 for the Capricorns, we have the 8 of Earth. Gosh, another 8. Education, focus, details. Yeah, look, again, another thing about focus. This is interesting. I feel like something new that you're going to be working on or something, actually, you've already been working on this. Like this person has already like mastered some skills and done some really, really hard work, but you're like polishing it. That's what it feels like. It feels like you've done a ton of work this year or on a project, and you're getting so close to the end of completing it, but now it's like going into the details, going in and fine tuning things, polishing things and all that. So week 3 is going to be interesting. It's going to be It's going to be a little bit of more of a work week, which is no problem for you guys, Capricorns. Just don't forget to add that fun in there, okay? All right, let's go into week 4. Oh, I did these backwards again. I did that to some other sign. That's funny. Week 4 for the Capricorns. Queen of Air. Queen of Air, brilliant, experienced, humorous. Yeah, you're going to be speaking up. You're going to have this opportunity to communicate in a bigger way. People are actually going to be seeking your advice for some things, and it's going to be really fun to share that advice. It's going to be fun to share your thoughts and ideas on things. You're going to feel like, wow, I finally am enjoying the way that I am communicating instead of just getting it done. Does that make sense? Like it's something you're feeling a renewed energy for communicating. We do have Mercury going retrograde on July 17th. So you may just be taking a different approach to the way you communicate. You know what I mean? And I don't know what that is for you. Maybe you've only been a podcaster and now you're starting a YouTube channel. So you're including video. Maybe you've always preferred speaking and now you're writing. There's a change coming in here, but it's like really, really positive because you're owning your authority in this communication. Capricorns. I really like that. Owning your authority. That's good for all of us to do, right? All 12 signs. All right, let's move on to week 5 so you guys can get your screenshot here. 7, gotta switch the camera. 7 of air, awareness, caution, consequences. All right, interesting. Okay, so again, my good friend, Chris Reck, Menopon Tarot, will be here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central. He calls this a card of tactics, and I was so relieved when he taught me that, because this card, I don't know, it can kind of ignite a little bit of like, how do I feel about that energy? But he likes to talk about how it's a card of tactics, meaning, you know, there might be things going on behind the scenes that you're not aware of. What's a way you can approach that in a tactical manner to get the information you need? It's an air card, communication, information. I think of it like, I don't know, have you ever tried to get a hold of somebody multiple times and it never worked? And finally you give up and you mention it to a friend that you can't get a hold of them, and all of a sudden they call you because they're like, oh, I ran into so yesterday. I didn't realize my phone was blocking your calls. It was going straight to voicemail, whatever. I don't know why that example came through, but it's like, just take a different approach and like be tactical about it. Like think about the ways that you can communicate this, especially with Mercury retrograde. By this time, week 5, we will be well into Mercury retrograde. So it is about being tactical with your communications. It is about just being really like aware of all the different moving parts of something, so to speak. Just like be aware of your surroundings, right? You know, it can also be like the consequence card is coming up for me, where it's just like, just think things through before you say them or communicate them. For all signs, Mercury retrograde is about rereading those texts, rereading those emails before you hit send, before you pick up the phone to say something, grounding your energy, thinking about what you want to say, getting focused about what you want to communicate before you say something. And, you know, that's the thing, is because, you know, our words do have consequences sometimes. So just think it through, you know, and be tactical about it, and just think about the way you want to communicate it. I think it's really, really positive, as long as, let me switch this so you can get a screenshot. I think it's really, really positive as long as you are taking a few deep breaths before you do this. And one little tip I've learned to do, it doesn't always work, ask my friends, but if I type out a long text message where I'm trying to make sure something's understood, I will actually read it out loud to myself and I'll catch a typo. And I can't tell you how many times I thought I wrote the word like, I'm not able to make it, and I left out not. You know, it's like they thought, oh, I'm going to make it if I hadn't caught it. So that's what you're doing here, is you're just finding a new tactical way to communicate something you need. And Mercury retrograde is going to actually help you do that. So I love this, Capricorns. I'm going to take a few minute break again. Come back for the aquas here. I'm having so much fun with all of you. Let me know in the comments how you're doing. I hope to see you tomorrow on my live with Chris Reck, and also on the next one. See you in a minute. Bye, guys.